Hey peoples, Dirk Verite here. Well, I think it's time for a tutorial on how I do my stuff. I mean, people are asking. I've been kind of reneging on this for a little bit because I don't find I'm doing anything special, but I'm also put out what I'm doing so you guys can see it and see if it helps you guys out. Arma is such a great game that I just want to get the stuff out there to try to help people. There's a lot of people that seem, farmer farming, YouTube this. I have to say, I don't believe there's a way that I'm ever going to get to a point of making money with the Arma videos. I mean, it might become a little popular to some people because of how it runs and then that type of flight and all that stuff. But I'm not looking to get like super famous with Arma 3. I just love the game and I want to get it out there. I have a lot of comments on different things. I mean, even Deadman, the guy who did all this stuff, who's great for this, has responded to me privately and on some of my stuff. He's definitely making me question how I do it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting it done properly. There's things that I still don't even know that I've been messing with Arma forever, and I still don't know because I'm kind of self-taught. I don't have any real formal education in scripting or anything like that. I know how to put it together, but if I had to write it, I probably wouldn't do it, or I try to figure out something on GitHub to get what I need. But anyway, so we're going to start with my single player stuff. I'm going to go into my launcher here and I'm just going to show you where I got. I'm using the dev branch, obviously. My platform's at 64-bit. My Intel allocator's on the 64-bit. I got hyper-threading enable, large scale support, and I believe low admission to memory. That's it. The rest of it, I've actually played with this stuff. Now, not saying that it won't help you, because again, Arma on different PCs, it seems like one thing will work for one and something won't work for the other. And even if you got the two same setups almost, it seems like one thing works for one and one thing doesn't work for the other. I don't know why that is. That is just Arma. I'm just putting out what works for me. If you guys got stuff that works for you, make more tutorials, help people get this stuff out there, because Arma 4 is a while away. Arma 3 rocks. If Arma 3 can run the way it runs for me for everyone, you're going to love this game. It's the game I play the most. And I have a lot of games. I have other flight sims that I play, but I still don't seem to get the rush like I do out of Arma 3. So anyway, that's all I do for my single player. Now my single player stuff, I'm not running the single player missions. Like out at a workshop and stuff like that. I would have to assume running a bunch of AI that way might be hard because it's all running off the same PC. I mean, it's going to run better, but I still think you'd have to run it off a server PC. And that's what I'm doing with my server PC. So here's my mission on my server PC. I don't really have anything fancy. I'm not using triggers because I find when you start putting a bunch of triggers, you get those pauses. So my mission is literally the mission starts, the mission's there, we come in, we fight, we grab guns off the AI, and sometimes I'm on the ground. Most of the time I like being in the air because the air support's cool. Like when my buddy's pinned down and I can come in and save his ass, well, that's great, right? We're having a great time. I'm still getting blown out of the sky. There's 50 cals and there's a few missile guys, and these planes got rear 50 cals and they're getting me. So, it's not like it's just a come in and take care of the day. We're well equipped though because we're two guys against 159, I think, on this map. Now, when you got 159 AI, I put headless clients. There's a lot of talk about this that says you don't have to do that. You don't have to put headless clients to that many AI. It should run it. I did that. I got pauses. I got low FPSs. It didn't work out as right. So I put headless clients, and I run about 40 each. I think a couple of these have 50 because the ones with the vehicles, the ones that the vehicles are in and stuff like that, when they go and headless client, I put less there because I'm not sure if the vehicle piloting or the mechanics has something to do with it, but if I try to keep the same numbers that way, I can notice a difference on how it's operating on my server. So like when my server is operating, I'm watching how each instance of this is running, how my game instance is running, how my CPUs, like everything. I got monitors to monitor all that stuff, and through my testing I did that. I will admit I didn't record any of it because I didn't think I needed to, and I don't have comparisons to compare it to. So if you're asking how to compare this, compare to that, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to show you what works for me, and hopefully it helps you out. And if you got other ways, put it out there, like I say, so it helps other people out. Now, the headless client is a hard thing. A lot of people, if you get in your work with triggers, there's a different way and stuff like this. This isn't going to work that way. I'm not sure, actually, to be honest, because I don't use triggers, but there is a way to use headless client with triggers. I've been trying to figure it out for a while, and I just can't seem to fully get there, and I have yet to find a good tutorial on it. So if you're a headless client user and you got a good way to do it with the triggers, put it out there, because even for a person like me, it's not that simple, because we're not all professionals in this. The guys that are probably using it in that sense are really good with the coding. We would need that to come out so we can actually see it and implement it so other people can enjoy the game they want to enjoy it. That's my take on that anyway. So this line here, this group disk get marker pod, this one right here, I actually put this in the group in the object init of the group. Another big factor here is name your group, like soldier group 1, 3. I named it soldier group 1, and then I did what I wanted to that soldier group. I copied and pasted, and then it puts this little 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're all kind of the same group after I've loaded them with their weapons and all that stuff, but I placed them in different places of the city, and they're all following that marker, which is that circle right here. Now, if you want it like one mission here and like a couple guys here and a couple guys over there, you just got to make another circle and like put them in the radius, so you can make missions all the way down the coastline. You probably don't have to fill it up like this one, like all my 50 cals have unlimited weapons. Like anyway, this mission, when we come in this one, we die quite a few times. So that's pretty much all I do with the headless client. I literally put that line in my init in my headless client of the same one that I'm putting in for whatever one that I'm using there. And then I have to set the group to that owner one in the object init of the group. That's all I do for my headless clients. And some might say this doesn't work. I'm almost skeptical myself, but when I'm watching my analytics, it has to work, because the instance of the headless client is running way too heavy when I'm in here for it not to be doing something. And it seems to keep my gameplay pretty clean, and I've gained like almost 2.5 FPSs after I did this to my mission. So 2.5 times. So it went up from like 21, 22 to like 40. But now with this new stuff, if I'm on the ground, my buddy on the ground, when he's at the 9,000 view distance, he's holding like 110 FPSs. I'm in the air. It seems it's less, especially when you're close to the ground. A lot of people say, oh no, you're in the air, you get better FPSs. You get better FPSs when you're way to hell up there somewhere. Not when you're down on the ground. When you got the mechanics working, it's like trying to drive through with a car at like 1,000 kilometers an hour. It's literally the same thing. You're going to spaz out, and I'm sure as people know, as they drive down the road and they spaz out, they don't like that. So that's the whole point of trying to keep this away. Other settings that I should go through would be this, I guess. The attributes in the general, I only have the Zeus enabled. I didn't do anything different here. Environment. Yeah, I got the shadow down. This is a big one for me on the server side. I actually like to set my view distance, but if you had like players who didn't have a really good computer, leave that to -1. You might want to put the terrain to unchanged, but for the ones that are actually running the high graphics, I find when I do that and I keep it like just at the -1 and unchanged, the map needs a little more work to render. And I'm not 100% sure why that is. That just seems to be what works for me. So that's what I do. Multiplayer, I don't think I changed too much on the multiplayer. I think it's just normal stuff. I just kind of set it up for that, the revive and the respawn. And the performance, yeah, the dynamic situation, this one here, I don't enable that. I don't want my units to come in and out. Now, if I had a lot going on and I had a lot of triggers, I guess you'd almost have no option here. You don't want this. If you had like a 40-player server and stuff like that, you're going to need that, I'm sure. And this stuff here, too, probably plays a big factor, because my servers are probably low populated. Like the most I think I've had one time was 12. And I think we were just starting to notice a difference in how it operated. Like my stuff was running pretty maxed out, so it's not like I could put 100 players on what I have as equipment. I'm sure if you had like topper equipment on the server side, like if my gamer was a server, I'm sure I'd probably be able to get to 60 players, maybe 40 players before I'd start noticing a difference. But I don't think A3 is a 100 player type of game. I don't think the engine can handle that. I could be totally wrong on that. Devin might strike me down for that, but I just, from my experience in logging into different places, that's what I found. It seems as soon as you go up to these numbers, it just doesn't work right. I put all this a lot higher than probably most people because I'm in the jet a lot. I want to see stuff coming, especially if it's moving. I want to see it farther away. And I put my view distance up because I want it to be more immersive. I'm close to the ground. I'm battling it out. I actually get some, I mean, it's not like when I was racing my crotch rockets and stuff. I mean, that was a total different rush, but I still get somewhat of a rush, and you know what? That's what gaming's all about. If you're getting a rush, you might as well do it. Now, I don't think I have binarize the file. I think that's how you say binarize. Anyway, I do that. I found that I gain some with that. If I play my mission that way, it seems to be a lot cleaner. I don't know if the game just reads it better, which is possibly what is going on. I just get a better outcome that way, so I binarize my file, and I think that's it. So that's my server, really. It's pretty simple stuff. I like just a big mission. It takes us a couple hours. I mean, the boys have fun. It's a good time. But what I use to do that is this program called Faster. Now, look it up if you want to use it. For running a server, this is it. This is the bomb. This is what you want. Like, this has changed it for me for building my servers. I will say I wasn't really building full-out servers until this came out, and I'm sure a lot of people will find it the same way with this. It literally does everything for you. When you find it, help out the person who wrote it, or who did it, because they deserve some financial gain and some huge credit for this program, hands down. So anyway, so you put your mission in here, you put your difficulty settings, you got all your stuff. You can change your AI precision and AI skills. I mean, we have them up there because, we've been playing it for a while, but this AI precision, I mean, at first we had it lower until we got used to it, and then, we turned it up as time went on. You could put your passwords, your admin passwords. Obviously, I took them off for obvious reasons, and then and then here, the headless client, to set up your headless client. So like my 4 headless clients with this, and you want to run your headless clients off the same PC you're running your server, you literally just turn it on and pick how many you want. To run it differently, like to do it manually, it's a lot more complicated than that. Just this alone, this program is worth like anything. I can't say good enough things about it. I'm sure other people will agree with me. On the performance side, I mean, the big thing down here, I find this too probably plays a big solution. Like I'm running 2K, and I find when I run my server at the 2K, it runs better. Some people like leave that like low and say, oh yeah, do it lower, but I don't know if your gamer has to, if your the PC you're playing the game on has to like render it up to play it, because I seem to get a lot more spazzes and stuff like that when I'm doing that. So I put my view distance there, which was my 9000. This Steam Protocol max data size, that's just something you put in there in case you're using a lot of mods. Like I'm using like 39 mods for this, so I think once you pass like 20, that has to be up. And if people aren't doing that one, that could be a big reason why a lot of them stutter. Maybe I don't even think they would run. I'm not even sure, but I know that has to go in there for that. The min bandwidth and max bandwidth, that's all about your internet speed. The message sending stuff like that too, that's all about internet speed. So that would probably be different for people, but it's here for you to see. I mean, you kind of seen everything that I have to do with my server and my game performance. Put questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them best I can. The biggest thing that I could say is, you know what? People got to start sharing like what's going on with Arma if we want Arma to be a thing. Arma is kind of out of the spotlight, but it's such a good game. The work that Deadman's put into this new optimization, from what I've learned, I thought it was multi-threading. My apologies, but there was no information. I was going with what I was seeing as my operations were going up and my CPU usages were going up. I assumed, but Deadman set me straight. It is a new optimization feature with a little bit of multi-threading added. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out, and be blessed.